The following is a Joel Michalec production. On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence. That request came from his wife. She asked him to leave because he wouldn't listen to the Joel Michalec Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharon. I'm Joel Michalec. Across from the booth, the table, is the lovely Sharon. Say it with me. The lovely
Sharon.
Good. I wanted to check your levels.
The lovely Sharon.
No, a little louder.
The lovely Sharon.
All right. Well, my point is, I want the audience to be able to hear you too. Welcome to the program. This is, if you're counting, I believe, show 140. Hold on, I got it here.
Wow. Something you're not ready for?
142. Show 142.
142.
Yeah. And
not 241.
Nope.
Not
no, don't be dyslexic on me because you're going to mess me all up.
Good.
So, anyway, visit us at www.thejmtalk.net. Hey, that's the address that's plastered on the back window of my truck. So, if you see me about town. But anyway, tune in there because, holy moly, look at my levels. What? My levels.
Wow, because you're hugging up on your mic.
So, anyway, visit that website and subscribe to the program because you can do that.
Yes.
And we're available everywhere podcasts are available.
And if you see us on the streets, say hi.
Yeah. Well, if you see anyone on the street, you should say hi. But yeah, especially if you see us, damn it.
Yeah, but they don't know what we look like.
Well, that brings up a very interesting. I'll get back to that. Also on social media, you can stop by and visit us on TikTok and Facebook at JM Talk, Instagram and Twitter at JM Talk Radio. Drop us a line by email at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com.
I think we should do a TikTok.
Well, you said you were going to do TikTok soon. You also, and I think this is important for the listenership, you also indicated that you are very close. Actually, let me put it, folks, I'm very close to striking the deal to possibly taking the show to Facebook Live.
What? That's insane.
All of this is geared by the lovely Sharon.
Yeah. I'm working on.
She's the reason I'm not on live now.
Do this.
I was on Facebook Live for you the other night on your behalf.
On my behalf, and you did wonderfully.
On your behalf, selling your wax.
Yes, but it's in your name.
Yeah.
So, but yes, he did. He was on Facebook Live. If anybody saw it,
on Facebook as Sharon Sense. Sharon's Good Sense is the Facebook name.
Yes, Sharon's
Good Sense. The website is sharonsense.sensi.us. US of A.
Flameless candles.
Flameless candles. Well, no, flameless option. They're not flameless candles. They're flameless options. A flameless candle.
No, right. Yeah, but there's no fire whatsoever.
No fire.
No fire. It's heated by a light bulb. He's drinking beer, guys.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
No, he's not. Let's
talk about Wawa for a few minutes.
Yes.
So, for the last couple of weeks...
I know what you're going to say.
We have been we frequent Wawa every day,
which is a local convenience store.
Yeah,
if you're listening elsewhere.
Right. If you're listening elsewhere and you're from this area, you're lucky. If you never heard of a Wawa, I feel sorry for you. But
yes.
So, in the last couple of weeks, they have diet iced tea, which is good, but here's the problem. The lovely Sharon got me hooked on their product, Diet half and half lemonade, half iced tea. And I grew so accustomed to this that now when I drink their diet iced tea, it tastes like piss. It tastes like nothing. Like, I mean, it just,
you know what,
like there's no flavor.
I just had an idea.
What?
So you take the Wawa regular diet iced tea.
And put more lemon in it?
No. And you buy their little thing of lemonade.
But the lemonade's not diet.
Yeah, but then you get a diet lemonade. Like a real lemonade. Yeah, and then put it in there.
I'd much rather them just get their issues fixed.
Well, that's absolutely correct. But
so they haven't had it, and then what else have they been not having? They haven't been having my V8s.
No.
And so the other day, I'm like, God, what is with this microphone? So the other day we were in there, and there was a guy actually stocking, and I made a point to say something. No, actually, he heard me talking to you.
Yes.
And he says, yeah, the problem. I said, no, let me guess. COVID? Because everything's COVID. Oh,
yeah,
we can't,
I know. I hate that.
We can't get lumber? COVID. We can't get PVC? COVID. Can't get coins? COVID. COVID. Marsha. Russia. So he overheard us talking, and he said that they apparently are experiencing a COVID breakout at the warehouse where this stuff is, made and packed and distributed. So there is an actual problem at Wawa that is causing the stores to have to only order. I forget what he called it, but it's basically like just you're getting the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And so here I was joking around with the COVID stuff, and it turns out that Wawa's really having a COVID issue.
Right. And the other issue, he said, was that they can't get any workers.
Yeah, they can't get any workers, which is another problem everywhere.
You know what it is?
It's lazy people.
Absolutely. People that used to work all the time, workaholics, whatever the case may be, okay? When COVID hit us last year, many companies closed down.
Yeah.
Okay? So the people were then unemployed. So the government said, yay, let's give you $600 extra, which is above and beyond, okay?
A week.
And they were getting
more than I make as an IT manager.
$900 a week, okay? Then they took away the $600 bonus that they were getting every week, but it left these people unwilling to work.
Yeah.
So maybe if they stay out of work long enough, then they'll bring back the 600. They did bring back the additional monies.
They brought back some additional money.
Some, right. I think it was only like 300, something like that.
But also, as we talked about recently, 21 or 23 states had decided to end the federal benefits because these states are like, we need you to get off your ass and get back to work.
There's
economy
so many
cannot
jobs
grow without
there.
it.
Exactly. There's so many jobs out there, and these pathetic people that won't work because they've grown accustomed to being at home all the time, and then so they use the excuse, oh, I don't want to go back to work in case of COVID hits.
Right.
No.
Now, there is I read an article this week, there's a small percentage of people who aren't working who have taken this time that they were given when their companies closed down or they were out of work or furloughed or whatever, getting those benefits and saving up money because they were getting this extra benefits from the federal government.
Right.
Now, there is a small percentage of people who have taken this time to reflect on what they were doing, and they're going different routes. Some people are opening up small businesses.
Right.
Some people are going, well, maybe I always wanted to do this. And so this is also, in like a strange way, has given some people the ability to go while they were out of work and getting paid to be out of work because the government wanted to do their part to help.
Right.
They're going, maybe I could, this gives me the time to think about doing something else.
That is so true because...
And it is a small percentage.
Right. But I know with Sensi, okay, Sensi grew exponentially, like out of control because people were like, hey, I can do this.
Right.
I can sell this stuff.
And it's a small fee to get in.
Yeah.
And to get in on the ground floor.
Exactly. So people are doing this now. Your sister Terry, she's got so many people under her.
Right.
Whereas a year ago, February, she was in jeopardy of not being able to do it anymore. So, and that's amazing that she's done that.
Right.
I'm like so proud of her.
Absolutely.
That she has grown her business that much.
Yep.
Because it's like any pyramid company, you have anybody under you.
And again, she had some
their
downtime.
benefits too.
And again, because of the business she's in, she had furloughed and downtime too to be able to make, make some moves like that.
Right. But yeah, now she's back to work and she's got this booming business, which is awesome for her.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm proud of her. You go, Terry. You rock.
Right. So one of the other things we noticed too with Wawa is, and we talked about this on the show before.
Yes.
Wawa had this signs up all over the place, coin shortage, and
which doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't, but COVID.
No.
Nobody was making coins, I guess.
If someone says it's due to COVID one more time, I'm going to bop them in the face.
All the problems with the pool we had, COVID. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, stop.
So anyway. What I found amazing is last week, the state of the emergency was lifted here in Delaware. And the minute that was lifted, boom, the plastic barriers are down at Wawa, and there's no more coin shortage.
Right? How amazing
Forget
is
the
that?
barriers. There's no more coin shortage.
Right. That's amazing. I still, we have our shots so we can go into stores without masks. I still feel weird.
It does feel weird.
Going into a store without a mask.
And sometimes I do. And I still have to wear them at work if I leave my suite.
Right.
Unless I'm outside. So, But here's the thing. If you're following the news, that Delta variant is jacking this nation up, especially the unvaccinated people.
Yeah.
And again, we're not here to tell you to do or don't get.
Right.
Listen,
and that's your personal business.
Right. There are plenty of idiots out there on social media that are telling you better not get the vaccine or you better get the vaccine. Hey, whatever you want.
That's your choice. Yeah.
You do
More power to you.
But look what's happening mostly to people who are unvaccinated.
Yeah.
It is becoming a problem. And I'm telling you right now, here's my prediction. We're going backwards. We're going to be back in masks, and I think real soon.
Yeah.
They're already looking at what are we going to do about the school children. They're going back to school. They're trying to come up with protocols for classrooms. I have a feeling the kids won't go back or they're going to go back and get kicked back home again.
Yeah.
I never said it was fake. I mean, there's a lot of people that say it was fake, but we had our own... we had people in our own families affected. We knew it wasn't fake.
Yeah.
But I don't think...
affected severely.
Yeah. I just don't think anybody really saw this coming. Would you like some help with that? You got it?
Got it.
But I think we're going to end up going backwards.
Yeah.
And wear masks again. I don't know if there'll be furloughs and stuff. And, that's one of the reasons why when my employer said, well, we're going to modify our mandate, but we're still going to do this. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And if we go back to wearing masks, then he'll be the hero because he foresaw this coming,
Right.
Because that's the decision. But I think we're going to go backwards. I think we're going to be. So, folks, don't get rid of your masks. I think, mark my words. We're going to go back to masks on face, no coins in a drawer. I'm sorry. I am so... crazy about the coin thing. I just never got it.
I know.
The banks are still open.
Doesn't make sense.
I mean,
the mint is still open.
I imagine they are. But don't mess with my lemonade tea, man. I swear to God. I'm telling you, Wawa's hiring, okay? Now get out off the couch and go work for Wawa and make me my half and half. That's the bottom line here. That's all I care about.
Absolutely.
Show's over. Goodbye.
Damn.
So, yeah. So that's that.
That's insane.
That's insane. Should we tell them how I turned a 10-minute plumbing job into a 2-day affair?
Hey, only you can do that.
Right. You're right. You're right.
Absolutely. Only you can do that.
Listen, I can make an entire project out of trimming the front lawn.
I know, right?
So,
and I'm out there pulling each blade out by hand because someone didn't do their job.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I'm not mentioning names, Joel.
I was busy ripping your pool filter apart to fix one little thing.
And that was a big deal.
I had to take a whole section out. Me and a buddy of mine, we had to take a whole section out of it. And then when we got this, we did get the section repaired that was leaking, and we made a new leak. So, hey, listen, let me tell you something.
But
silicone goes a long way on PVC, buddy.
Right?
So when we got an air leak on the other side of that pump, nope, sorry. I sat there for a half hour. Let me say, half hour. Bent over, waiting for those air pockets to open up so I can slab more. And I went out there before we before we taped. And it's nice and getting, rubbery and dry. And, so I think probably tomorrow we're going to spray the silicone with Flex Seal.
Okay.
And it should never leak until the end of time. Or until the cicadas come back. Right. Whichever comes first. So that saga continues. Geez, I don't know what else in 3.5 minutes.
So, I don't know.
I mean, I got stuff for the second segment. I can say, listen, there's going to be a really interesting thing going on in the third segment after you leave.
Oh?
Yeah, we're going to do something new here on the show.
Okay.
But it's also something old.
That's right. You told me about that.
It's also something old.
But it's awesome.
Yeah, we're bringing that. We're bringing something back that I used to do in a previous
show,
a previous life on the radio.
Yeah.
So you'll find out in the third segment. Also coming up after our break here, we forgot last week to do Wombat of the Week.
We did.
So we have 2 wombats this week for them.
No, that doesn't work like
no,
that.
It does. No, it's already handpicked. There's a double shot of wombats this week. Absolutely not.
No, I'm the boss here.
No, not here.
No.
Not in this office.
Yes.
Maybe you are in that office.
Yes.
And maybe you are in the other 2,000 square foot of the house. But in this 500 square foot?
Where's this office? It's located inside my house. I'm just kidding. I'm playing with him. He knows
Everyone knows that I'm the man of the house when you're not here.
Exactly.
My voice is being decimated.
Yeah.
You're overworking me. So anyway, so coming up after the break, a double wombat this week because we didn't give you one last week and we feel really terrible about it. At least I did. I felt terrible about it. And then coming up later on in the show, something old with something new here for the program. Plus, I plan on sharing with you a new scam tactic out there that you've really got to look for. So I'll be passing some of my knowledge on about that. Yeah.
All right.
There's no shortage of help from me because of COVID. Listen, I can ride this wave as long as we can.
I know, right?
Or should I just start calling it Delta? Delta. Anyway, folks, we're going to take a quick break. I got to put some more water down my throat here. And when we come back, 2 wombats of the week just for you. Stay right there.
This is New York's Super Oldie Station, 920 WON, The Apple, Brooklyn, New York.
So I use my computer every day. I'm not even sure how I get along without it. But I wasn't prepared for a virus. A Trojan, they called it. One night I'm cruising along, and the next night I can't do anything. I was afraid it was going to cost me a fortune. Boy, was I surprised. They had me back up and running the same day I called them. I really like PC Tech Rescue, and you know what? My wallet likes them too.
Are you troubled by computer problems? PC Tech Rescue should be your very next call. Whether the problem is viruses, hardware, software, or any other issue, they can diagnose your problem and have you back up and running fast. With more than 25 years of industry experience, you can be sure you are getting dependable and affordable service. Call today, 484-429-6061, or email us at pctechrescue@gmail.com.
Welcome back, folks, to the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharon. And, it's interesting because the problem I'm having, I keep moving the microphone around, is because we're not this hot. I mean, I know I'm hot.
You are very hot.
But anyway, we're not, look at the band. We're not usually this hot on the other computer. Maybe this is the way we're going to do the show. We're having some issues with with either hardware or software with the studio. We're not sure which, but we're using a different computer, and I think we should probably stick to this.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, I mean, I'll see what the output is too, but I mean, it looks better. But anyway, so welcome back to the program.
Stop fidgeting with your mic. Your problem is you keep going like this,
and just
hugging it and kissing it.
My microphone,
not letting it go.
All right, back to business.
Right.
So, going to change gears a little bit for the Wombat of the Week. We got 2 Wombats of the Week for you this week because we only gave you one last week.
Right.
So if you're just tuning in, that's why. I say that like a live show says that.
Right.
If you're just tuning in, if you're just joining us.
Right.
I don't know why I always say stuff like that, because I guess I'm used to doing 8 years of live radio, because in the podcast world, you didn't just tune in. You obviously got here at the beginning when you downloaded it.
Yeah, exactly.
So old habits are hard to break.
Yep.
So anyway, I want to change gears now because, like it or not, I want to talk sports.
All right, peace out. Now, and I see what you're going to talk about.
So this the first Wombat of the Week comes from the desk of the Cancel Culture News.
Right.
So this past week, the Cleveland Indians announced that starting with next season, they'll be called the Cleveland Guardians.
Oh, my God.
Having, after debating for the last couple of years because of cancel culture, that the Indians was not an appropriate name anymore.
So we shouldn't call Native Americans Indians.
But yeah, I guess you're not allowed to call them that either anymore. But
wow.
So what happened is they finally came to a decision, following what the Washington Redskins did, prior, and they're changing the name because Indians is offensive. Apparently, and I didn't know this because I don't really follow the Indians, but not too long ago, Major League Baseball told them they had to get rid of the logo off of their uniforms, the Chief Wahoo.
Yeah,
So that's been going, and I didn't even realize that. So now they're going to be called the Cleveland Guardians starting next year, and I guess they've already changed the font. And the new
and their picture's going to be Groot.
Yeah. That's one of my problems with this. Mm-hmm. The Guardians of the Galaxy may take offense to this name. Here's my thing, and I saw you looking at my screen because I was putting some quick facts, so I didn't try to have to memorize all this. So anyway, here's my rant with the Cleveland Indians. Okay. Founded in 1894, they were called the Cleveland Nats until a member of the team left in 1914, and then they changed it to the Cleveland Indians. So between 1914 and 2022. Where was the rampage at? Where was all the rampage at in 1914 when they came up with the name the Cleveland Indians? Where was the rampage for the last 100 years when they were called the Tribe as a nickname? Huh? How about that?
Yeah.
So where was that outrage? I don't understand what that outrage was.
Cancel culture wasn't there at that time.
Right. Cancel culture. 2 words. 2 words. Mm-hmm. 2 words that could ruin your date night. And the same argument, I'm going to mount the same argument with the Washington Redskins. So they were founded in 1932, actually in Boston, as the Boston Braves. Get to that in a minute. And then in 1933, the following year, they changed the name to the Redskins. Where was the outrage all those years?
I know.
I mean, I don't know what kind of pressure besides protest and pressure was put on the Cleveland Indians. But, I mean, the Redskins, who was it? Was it Nike that actually just, canceled all their product They pulled all the Redskins product out of off of every shelf everywhere to protest until they changed their name from Redskins. Of course, now it's the Washington Football Team because that's a great name.
Because they can't come up with a new one. That's ridiculous.
And it's funny because there was a guy who found out the list of names that they were thinking about. And this guy, he was a lawyer, I think. He's a lawyer.
Okay.
He went out and he registered every .com of every name that he found out that they were thinking of. And he bought all the .coms.
Good.
Which is kind of ruins your marketing strategy.
Right.
But so I just don't, cancel culture. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, I've said this before, they're getting shows canceled that we grew up with.
Yeah.
I've said it before. You have to leave our youth alone. You don't like it, you can turn it off. And I know
exactly.
I know that
if
Native Americans,
don't like Cleveland Indians, don't follow them.
Right, and I know
the same with Washington Redskins.
And I know a lot of the pressure came from Native Americans, which I get it, and full respect to the Native Americans. I'm not complaining about that.
Because your wife is part Native American.
I'm just saying, where were you guys for decades? Like, I feel like somebody took you by the hand to this point to make such a fuss about it.
Right.
Because where were you prior?
Exactly.
So I guess now we'll be seeing the Blackhawks change their names soon. The Braves are going to have to change their names.
Right. Phillies will just have to change.
Now,
their name.
let me tell you something about Phillies. Something a lot of people don't know. The actual team name is the Philadelphia Philadelphians. Yes, that is the official chartered name. The Philadelphia Philadelphians. No, I'm sorry. The Philadelphia Philadelphias. Yes, Philadelphia Philadelphias.
Okay.
So, hopefully they don't come after that name. Hopefully nobody's offended by the name Philadelphia. You know what I mean? And of course you got the Philadelphia Eagles. Flyers, 76ers. I dare you. Do not. I just drew the line in the sand. Don't cross this line. Come here to Philadelphia trying to change these names. Because
right.
People don't realize Philadelphia fans, we threw snowballs at Santa Claus. I know that just keeps rolling on and rolling on. I just did the same thing I complained about. Let it go. 1976.
Yeah, like 50 some odd years ago.
But that's what people always come back to. Oh, there's fans. Jeez, oh my God, they snowballed Santa out of the stadium. Relax, people. But don't come here messing with our stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I just don't like...
You don't see Dallas Cowboys changing their names.
Well, let me tell you something, and there's just a thought about that. The term cowboys, we think of it as, gunslingers. And cowboys were a gang in the Old West.
Okay.
So they weren't called cowboys back then. The cowboys were a gang of thugs in the Old West. So think about that.
So
I'm just saying. What
are you saying? That the Cowboys are
a bunch of thugs?
A bunch of thugs that just run right over everybody?
I'm not saying that. I am saying that I'm.
Are we going to get into this? Yes, we are a house. Husband follows the Eagles. Wife follows the Cowboys.
All I'm saying is, I'm just saying. Every time you take your car to get detailed, they keep missing that one spot.
Shut them. I have a Dallas Cowboy star on near my gas can.
On the gas tank.
Is it
door.
on there?
It's on the gas can.
It's on the door. Next to it.
Oh, you're right. It's next to it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And somehow, consequently, this is weird. That rear door doesn't open anymore.
Because you broke it.
So anyway,
are we gonna get into that? How you break my car?
So the Indians they get a title of Wombat of the Week. I'm sorry, but at what point do we stop bowing to the cancel culture pressure? At what point do we go? Which point do we point our finger back and say, "Listen, Sonny boy," or Sonny, gender neutral, whatever the hell you are. As the Fawn said, sit on it.
Right? I mean, and it's what drives me crazy is history happened. Nothing you can do to change it than the past. Stop trying to take down our statues and... No, I'm about to go off. And
No, you don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that, so let me change.
The Cleveland Indians are wombats, that's all. You know, but I did have a little bit of something. I had some dates and some things, and I'm curious. Call me Mr. Curious. Like, where were you people for 100 years?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Okay. Move that over here.
Okay.
Move that over here. So we have a second wombat of the week. Wombat of the week. A man in Florida shoots himself when he's showing off his pistol in a bar.
How moronic.
Yes.
Come on.
So in Pensacola, Florida, a man apparently shot himself by accident while showing Florida bar customers his gun this past Thursday night. The man can be seen on surveillance video showing his gun to customers at a Riley's Uptown Tavern in Pensacola before making a quick motion as if putting it into a pretend holster below his shoulder. And when he did, the gun discharged and the bullet ripped into the man's torso. So the bar manager gave the police and the newspaper and everybody the video to look at. And he says, I don't know if he was pretending to be a badass or something, but from what I can tell, it was completely by accident. No. So here's the thing. When you're playing around with a gun and showing off like an idiot, you're not a badass, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly.
The privilege to carry a weapon comes with a lot of responsibility. Mm-hmm. And I know that because I am a
yes.
Yes. So I do carry firearms. And the last thing you do, like if you do something like this, if you pull it out of your holster or wherever,
yeah,
and without the intent to use it for preservation of life or property, that's you just don't do that. You shouldn't have a firearm.
Exactly.
You should not be in possession of it if that is what you're going to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just drives me crazy. These are the kind of people that give the law-abiding citizens who carry firearms a bad name.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And the article doesn't say whether he was legally carrying it. I'm not sure what the state laws are in Florida. We're allowed to, if you are a law-abiding citizen with no record, you may open carry here in the state of Delaware. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the laws are in Florida. I don't know if he had a permit to carry concealed. I don't know. But what I do know is this is not how you behave with a firearm that is loaded.
Exactly.
Pretending to put it into... What is he, a cowboy? Woo! Blam, blam.
I take offense to that.
I guess you guys will be changing your names, too. Cowgirls aren't offensive. But anyway.
Shut up.
So you just don't do that. So, no, you're not a badass. You're a dumbass, and you're a wombat of the week. Now, he did immediately check himself into a hospital. I mean, obviously, if I had a bleeding bullet hole in my torso, I'd do the same thing. But,
But you wouldn't have one.
Couldn't you imagine if he shot himself like an ephemeral?
I know. But you wouldn't have a bullet hole to your torso because you're not a moron waving your gun around.
Right. So,
wow.
He's the other wombat of the week.
And deservedly so.
Deservedly so. Well, we don't have his name either. No, there's no name. No name.
Okay.
Oh, I got dirt on my monitor. There's my gaming monitor. What's going on here?
Hey.
Man, I have to get a cleaner lady. Wow. All right. So, I forgot to tell you, you can participate in the Wombat of the Week very simply. Here's what you do. Just send us a verifiable link to a news story of stupid people doing stupid things. And we have to verify because we get a lot of stuff here that people send us, and they say, "Oh, Wombat of the Week," and it turns out it's like urban legend or some other sort of fake meme, fake
exactly.
news.
Yep. Oh my God, people! Do you hear this?
No problem.
I deal with it all the time.
So it's got to be a verifiable link. We do double check it. We actually triple check it, and we'll put it in the lineup for Wombat of the Week. Send it to us in an email to joelmichalecradio@gmail.com, or send it across as a DM or PM or whatever they call it in the Facebook world at JM Talk or what.
Or you can send it to dear old Captain Noah. Send today. Send right away.
It's funny, I saw a picture of him because I joined another nostalgic television group on Facebook. And somebody had dear old Captain Noah up there. Now, Captain Noah was Philadelphia local.
Yes.
And Captain Kangaroo was nationwide, right?
Yeah. I know Captain Kangaroo was nationwide, but
Captain Noah, I think, was...
I thought that he was nationwide, too.
I don't think so.
But that was just my little baby brain.
Yeah, I think...
watching it going,
I think that was like a Philadelphia only, just like like Dr. Shock.
Yeah,
Dr. Shock's theater.
Yeah. Okay.
No, he was on PVI, Channel 6.
Who? Captain Noah?
Captain Noah. WPVI, Channel 6.
Thought he was on...
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, you're wrong.
What?
So, and now, listen, cancel culture, don't go attacking them either from our childhood. Leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Right? Leave them alone.
But Captain Kangaroo was also on one of those pages that I follow. So.
All right.
Amazing. Our youth. Such great stuff.
Yeah.
Such great stuff. So anyway, coming up probably in some sort of future show, we're working really hard at cutting the cable cord. And it's hard for us. And we got to make sure all of our ducks are in a row. But, it'll be an interesting conversation once we do it and as we do it, because a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So anyway, I guess this is the part of the show where we have to tell the lovely Sharon it's time to say goodbye, Sharon.
Goodbye, Sharon.
And she said it. See that? She obeys.
Peace out.
Okay. So the lovely Sharon is taking her leave of absence. When I come back after the break, I got something old that's something new. And also, I want to talk to you about a new scam alert. As I said, I want to pass some interesting knowledge off to you. So you want to come back for that, or see, there I go again. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I got to come up with new phrases like, "Hey, I'm coming back after this break, so don't shut the podcast off." That could be something new and different. We can do that. But anyway, so that and more coming up on the final stretch of the program. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back after this.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Listen on the web, your phone, or your neighbor's internet connection.
That wasn't very nice.
This is Reality One.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharon. And the lovely Sharon has left the studio, and that leaves you and me to wrap things up. So thanks for sticking around. So coming up in this segment, we're going to talk about something old, but something new that I am bringing back from the old show. More on that in just a little bit. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is something that I try to pass on really important information that has to do with computers, mostly, especially when it comes to cybersecurity, scams, hackers, things like that. I try to pass it on to you. This is what I do during the day and during the afternoon and during the night, holding down 3 different IT jobs, but I want to bring the knowledge to you because I want you to be safe. I want you to not have issues like the issues that are out there. And so I thought one of the things that I wanted to talk about was this new, and maybe it's not so new, but right now it's in the forefront, this new scam. So we're constantly warning our people, right, about email scams, phishing, spear phishing, the different types of phishing emails you get. And it's all for the same general reason, right? They want your data. They want your identity. They want your money. All the scams have that one common thread. How they can obtain information, and which leads them to money. And so one of the things that we've been cautious about for many years, because it's always been not always, but for a long time, macros, which are little pieces of code that you can put into Word documents or Excel documents or even PowerPoint into like an Office document, and it's sort of, it runs things for you. Like, you can put things in macros, so when you open up something, it does these things because you have these macros set up. And so a very big proponent of stealing data or getting viruses into your system or spyware was to send you a Word document or an Excel sheet that had macros in it. So you would unknowingly, you would open it and the macros would launch and it would do what it needs to do without you seeing it. So that's been a thing of cautious concern for many a years. And we've gotten really good at, for the most part, in making customers and people, the teams that I at my full-time job and my customers pay closer attention to phishing emails and pay closer attention to attachments they get from either people they don't know, or if you get it from somebody you know and you say, you got to think about this. Was I expecting this attachment? Because I always say that the malicious actors or hackers, however you want to call them, deadbeats, are always 1 to 2 steps ahead of us. It's hard to keep up. They're winning the battle. Unfortunately, they are winning the battle. They're finding new ways to trick you. And so this new way they have, this is what I want to bring to the table here. One of the things that they're doing is they are sending you a Word document, okay, that doesn't have macro. It opens up normally, it doesn't do anything, okay? But what this does is, I guess I'm going to break it down into my terms. You can interpret it however you want. If you're an IT person, maybe you interpret it a different way. But what this does is, I feel, is it gains a little trust. If you open to that, then they'll send you a follow-up one. And that will contain macros. Okay? That way, maybe you think, and it'll be something that will be enticing. I couldn't tell you. There's all kinds of different things they can put in this Word document. But I can tell you it will be something enticing because you'll open it and you'll think, it's normal. Nothing happened. Okay, whatever. You may dismiss it. And even if you get it again, there's going to be some percentage, even if it's a small percentage, but there's going to be some percentage of people that are going to open it again. Even if they're a little cautious because they just got something from these people. But when they open it unknowingly this time, the macros will launch and it will do whatever damage, whatever payload damage it's there to do. Steal data, put spyware in your machine, whatever. This is how we fix this. We remind you and remind you and remind you to be so vigilant and so careful, especially when you receive attachments. Especially when you receive attachments. Do you know the person? No? Boom, end of story. Spam it. Get rid of it. Do you know the person? Yes, I do. Are you expecting anything from them? Like, for what reason would they be sending you a generic document? Think about that. because it always comes back to you and me, how we react to the email. That is the factor. We call it the human factor, and it's a very difficult thing for us to manage. It's difficult to manage the human factor in these mistakes. And that's really all I want to tell you is it's a new problem. They found a new way to gain your trust and get you to do what they need you to do so they can infect you or collect data from you. But we can go back to the same old solution. Be vigilant. Be careful of what you're opening. Simple as that. And so anyway, that's sort of my tip. I wanted to talk to you about that. This came off the hot wire this week, and I wanted to get that out there to my peoples because this affects you, me personally, business-wise. Sure, I'm preaching this at work, but I bring it home too, and I let my family know too. Hey, be careful. This is something that's going on because this affects everybody. They're not just looking for corporate data. They'll take... You know how they make most of their money? By stealing from the poor and elderly. So it is relevant. It is very relevant and very important that we all do what we can to combat this, to stop making it such a multi-billion-dollar a year business. That would be, if I could share any little responsibility for not taking money from them, but keeping them from getting somebody else's money, I'm happy with that. So anyway, okay. I got to turn my microphone slightly here. Turn my microphones. I'm actually working with two computers today because we had a glitch. We have some sort of hardware or software glitch in the studio. We're not sure which it is, but so it's forcing me to use two computers on the show today, and I have to get to this piece over here on the other computer. So I in a previous life, I had a show called Behind the Mic. Maybe you heard of it. I mean, I'm always bringing you some throwback stuff from it so you can hear some of the interviews and whatnot. But, one of the things that we used to do, and we did it well on the show, is we used to host independent musicians and bands and play their music. And, I mean, we had this super relationship with them. And what happened was last week I got an email from a band at a new email address. So this is unique and interesting because we haven't been doing in music at all. We haven't been doing independent music. We never said we weren't, but we have a whole different email address with this show. And 2 years, it's been a very quiet email, but apparently... bands have heard about me, and they found where I'm living now on the World Wide Web, and they're sending their stuff in. So that gave me the idea of each week, I mean, listen, if you're an independent musician and you're listening to this, joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. Send me your stuff with permission to play. And I thought, hey, this would be great to feature a song each week if I have it. And I could go back. I have such a library of independent music from independent musicians that we've talked to and interviewed, and it's all great stuff. But anyway, so I want to tell you about Monotronic. Okay, these are the latest people to send me stuff, and with full permission to play. And so I want to play one of their songs, a title track of their latest album. But let me tell you about them. They came out in 2016. Monotronic has maintained their status as a ponderous and provocative enigma. Conceived by guitarist-producer Ramsey Alkaloy, Monotronic started as a loose collection of New York City-based musicians. The rotating cast of musicians have shared the stage and recorded with the likeness of Joe Jackson, Robert Randolph, Elliot Moss, the Spin Doctors, and Dweezil Zappa, just to name a few. That's an impressive resume of people to play with, right? So anyway, the Monotronic sound, as they describe it to me, is a combination of electronic music with a wide range of cultural influence, mostly drawn from Alkaloy's time spent in Calcutta studying Indian classical music and his travels throughout Southeast Asia. So they send this music, and let me tell you something, seriously. The lovely Sharon and I both have it on our iPhones. We have the album on our iPhones. It is so common. Calming, Calming. It's beautiful music. It's beautiful music. Now, the way they describe the album to me, okay, is it says the album is lost and found. Musically, it moves in the chill/deep house genre and tells a little instrumental novel about losing and finding love. So we're gonna start featuring independent music and tell you a little bit something about the artist here on the show. At least one a week, right? And it'll add variety, and you guys get to hear what some of the hardest working musicians are doing out there in the music land. It's not all about that top 40 station, and that's the way I always looked at it. And I think that's why we've become such a friend to the independent musician, is because we don't put all of our eggs in the top 40 basket. So anyway, we're going to listen to the title track of the album, Lost and Found, by Monotronic. Tell me what you think on Facebook. Here they are. And there you have it, folks. That is Monotronic, and with Lost and Found, the title track to their latest album. And if you like it, you can get your hands on it. I'm going to give you some information on how to find them. First of all, of course, their website is monotronicband.com. Monotronicband.com. That's the website that you need. And also, they're on YouTube. You can listen to the album on YouTube. You can also follow them on Instagram, instagram.com, and their handle over there is monotronic_official. Okay, and so we're also going to put the website up where the album is hosted. We're going to give you the YouTube link. We're going to give them their homepage link. We're going to give you all this information in the show notes so you can get more information on the music. It's an amazing album. The whole album is so amazing. It's very easy listening. It helps my stress level, which we know is extremely high. So believe it or not, this music actually helps me medically with my stress level. And I hope the band is listening to that when I say that, because that really says something. And the lovely Sharon, who really enjoys listening to Kitaro, says that Monotronic's album here puts her in that frame of mind. She has almost every Kitaro album, and she's very into his music. She's very into ethereal music. And she says that this really hits on that level. And she really enjoys it for that. It puts her in mind of that. So a couple different comments about that, just from our point of view. But now you've heard it, and you get to go and listen to more of it. And hopefully when we post the podcast, YouTube won't give me a bunch of crap. We did start posting to YouTube again. We stopped for a while because they were literally tagging all of our shows, saying that they were not, they were violating some sort of terms of theirs. And I mean, I would post a show at 5 p.m. and at 5:01 I would get an email that the show violated some term of service. And I appealed a couple of them, but that's a lot of tiring work to have to appeal what you know is fine. And they would overturn the appeals, and we got fed up with it. We did stop for a while, but we did go back to doing it. So a couple shows ago, we did start going back to allowing the podcast in home of Spreaker. Man, excuse my voice. Post to our YouTube channel. So I guess I'll be waiting to see if they deny it in the first 10 seconds of it posting, because there's music on that. And before they take a moment to see that it's independent music, and of course we have it on record with an email from the band that we have permission to play it. So there's an old saying, folks. It's difficult to soar with eagles when you're flying around with turkeys. And sometimes that's what it feels like, doesn't it? Doesn't it sometimes feel like that? So anyway, you have to excuse me. I'm really losing my voice. It's been a very hard week. But anyway, so that's going to bring us pretty much up to the end of the show. So it gives me a minute here to just give you some information. Be sure to listen to us and find us on the web at www.jmtalk.net. That's our home on the World Wide Web. Subscribe to the podcast, because that's how you never miss an episode. Subscribe. We're on every major place where you listen to your podcast. We're there. And if we're not there, send me a message and tell me that we're not, and we'll fix it. You can also reach out to us on social media. TikTok and Facebook at JM Talk, Instagram and Twitter at JM Talk Radio. Also, drop us a line at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. Be sure you can send us your Wombats of the Week to that email address, or across Facebook. Send us a message. And that's how you get a hold of us. I want to thank everybody for listening to us this week. We're heading into another heat wave. Big surprise there. We're also headed towards August, so hang in there, folks, because it's almost over. It'll be snowing again soon. But meanwhile, take care of each other. Be good to one another. And we'll catch you next time here on the Joel Michalec Show, featuring the lovely Sharon. Goodbye, everybody.